A new game mode is coming. ISO-8 has been overhauled in Dark Dimension 3. Yeah, it is coming soon, guys. We're discussing all of the recent video with myself and OhEmGee MobileGamer Trevor. We are giving our valuable insights, and if you're ready for all of that, you know what to do, guys.
Let's go smack it.
ValleyFlyin.
What is up, Valley Maniacs? ValleyFlyin here. I am back. What is up, Mobile Gamer? How are you doing?
What's up, guys? What's up, Paul?
We have a lot to talk about. There was a video that came out about the strike forces, number 7, and there was a lot that they talked about. They talked about a new game mode coming. They talked about ISO-8, Dark Dimension 3. Changed some game modes, but I think the most interesting one for you was that full Fantastic Four becoming farmable. Now, Invisible Woman, she's the legendary character, but the rest of them, they're becoming farmable. So what are your thoughts on this? I think this is big news. I think this is
okay. So there's a couple things. First of all, you know, we get Invisible Woman based off of our Sinister Six, right? So I have, you know, a fairly well developed Invisible Woman, and I've neglected the rest of the team because they weren't farmable and there was no point. The other thing too is on that orb opening event, we were able to get a 5 red star Namor, and he will be the only character that basically is not going to be farmable, and that is fine, right? It doesn't matter, right? A 5 gold star, 5 red star Namor is going to be fine for what I'm using him. And so we've got Thing available in the Blitz, and then we're gonna, Mr. Fantastic is gonna be moving Nexus. Right now, Johnny Storm is in Nexus, but they're gonna switch that around and move Johnny Storm to the arena.
Interesting that they would do that.
Yes, and I just want to say this, like, I probably will make a full video revisiting Fantastic Four and maybe make a T4 recommendation, because I didn't see putting the value into T4s into any of those characters because they weren't farmable. The only one that I was willing to put T4s into was Invisible Woman because I was using her in every game mode. But if I could have an absolutely auto win Fantastic Four team, that's possible now, right? And we could, it's always going to be useful. It's going to be useful for a long time, and we're going to talk about a new game mode. If it might probably be useful in that new game mode, but I'm not willing to put like a random T4 into Namor just to make it better, unless the team is farmable. But if I can get that entire team all the way up where it's like an auto win no matter what, you know, if I come up against a 400k Asgardian team, you know what, I've got you. I've got a 355,000 or 380,000 power Fantastic Four team that can handle it. Let's do it. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do.
Like, I was unwilling to put the T4s into this at all, but now I'm going to do it.
I know, we've talked about this in the past. All these new teams that come up, you're like, nope, I'm going to wait until they're farmable. And now they're farmable, so I know this is huge. So I'm gonna greenlight the Fantastic Four for putting T4s into characters other than Invisible Woman. So it's like, I'll look, and I'm not gonna put like 5. I'm gonna put like 2. You know what I mean? Like, just enough to make it work really well. Johnny's got a good passive. I think actually all their passives are pretty good because it affects the rest of the team. So I think that's one good place to start.
There's a couple of them that give offense up. Like I think Namor's passive. I'll make a video about it. But there's a couple that I'm looking at.
I haven't looked into it too much before this yet. I think for me,
I'm gonna do some research and make a video about it. But anyways, I'm excited.
Come back in a day to your channel after you've done the research.
Yeah, Fantastic Four, X-Men, those are the teams, right? I mean, they're just amazing.
Those are the teams. Now, for me, the bigger thing that was with this announcement was that these teams are coming farmable. They look like they're pushing them through a little more. You know, I'm still wondering where Supernatural is, but we saw Hela come to the orbs recently. So
where's Colossus? They were taunting us in that, weren't they? They had Colossus like a figurine in the background, like they were just mocking the community. It was like low-key them saying, we know you guys want Colossus to be farmable, but we can't talk about it right now.
We're not, especially with our new owners. They also mentioned some other big news. Nexus chapters coming soon. For me, I thought this was off the table because the rumor I heard was that there was no way to monetize new campaigns coming. So now that I hear that they're working about this is big news for me. How did you interpret this Nexus coming soon?
So what I'm expecting is, do you know the gold pieces that are required in 13 and 14. I'm talking about the ones that we need like in bulk, like the damage catalysts, not the superior ABCs.
The normal ones. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the normal ones. My guess is that those will appear in those Nexus chapter 7 and 8, and they will have really low drop rates. Like you'll run through cores and you'll get like one, maybe every other time.
I'm good with that as long as they change some of the daily objectives so we don't have to keep farming heroes and villains using our energy on those, because I'm kind of out of characters to farm on those.
Yeah, I'm out of characters too. I've got like 4.
So I'd rather be spending on Nexus and stuff that I could use if they ever do that. But yeah, I'm hoping that those minor uniques become farmable as well. It's just having it all farmable, because there's some pieces that we just can't get. So I would like to get some of those pieces. New challenge tiers. I know we complained about challenges before when they had the blaster challenge a little backwards, but from the video they said they're adding 1 to 2 new challenge tiers. I think a lot of people were expecting this when they raised the level cap to 75.
What was funny about this is that Cerebro was completely shocked, but this is something that I thought was common knowledge because it's in the data mine.
The challenge, yeah, it's been there for a while. I think it goes up to like 80, level 85. All the stuff in a data mine. So it's
like I was expecting this. It's just win, and because it's in the data mine, and yeah, we need that. That's gonna loosen up some of the purple gear and things like that for sure.
I was expecting this a while ago. I was expecting this right when they raised the level cap to level 75. So I'm frankly thinking it's a little late, but I'm happy that they're finally bringing this. Blitz changes were something else that they were talking about. One thing was the time grind of Blitz. I know you're not a big fan of Blitz. Yeah. So what are you expecting here? Just more of the same, more maybe increasing the cooldowns? Are you expecting like a big overhaul in Blitz mode?
Well, here's the thing: is like I'm so indifferent towards Blitz the way it is today. Like I'm happy that people can grind 6 to 8 hours a day and get something that I could buy for like $50. That's cool. You know what I mean? It's just I don't see the value in the time investment or anything like that. So anything that they change to Blitz, especially if let's say they boosted the milestone rewards, or they made the milestones drag out a little bit further, I'd be all about that for sure.
I would as well. I think they were talking about time, reducing the time in Blitz. So I'm curious to see what this all means, if anything. Maybe their version of reducing the time is something like increasing the milestones. I basically
gave up on Blitz when they went from the 2-hour cooldown to the 6-hour cooldown, or the other way around. They went from the 6 to 2. I was just done with it. Okay, fine. You guys can have it. I get you. Yeah,
it's very grindy if you really want to score high, but it's also my favorite game mode because it's the most relaxing game mode because there's no pressure. Arena, there's pressure. If you need to win all those battles. War mode, you need to win every single battle. Raids, your energies, you need to conserve that. But Blitz, there's no pressure unless you're really grinding for a specific target. So I do like Blitz mode, and I'm glad they're making changes to that. All right, Dark Dimension 3 coming soon now.
Wow, that's kind of scary to me.
The Dark Dimension 3?
Yeah, I mean, how many? Do you have any characters at 14 yet?
No, nobody's even ready. But from what we're seeing in the data mine, it looks like they're going to be rewarding a lot of red star type things associated with red stars, and at least according to the data mine, no like truly meta character associated with grinding through that, which makes me not as fearful for it because it's not like Ultimate or Ultron when you grinded that character, you're like, oh, I gotta get it right now. This is something kind of like Fear the Darkness that I could put off.
I'm going to be willing to spend the gold and the refreshes on the shop to get the pieces, but I really want to see the uber whales, the super whales, we're talking about the top 100 players in the game, run through this thing or run through their first stages so I can plan correctly, because taking a character to 14 is very, it's a resource intensive. It requires a lot of planning, and yes, there's some no-brainer characters that we could do today. The global characters. I think that you and I could make a list of 5 global characters to get through the first half, because the first 4 is any characters, and the second half is, the second quarter is global, then it goes to cosmic, then the last one is city. And then the real question is what is going to happen with city, right? Nobody knows. I'm not putting anything into any cities until It's known how that's going to play out.
Well, let me ask you this: we're looking at the rewards from the data mine. I don't know if you saw those.
I did.
You know, it's like a couple red star characters. Is that? And you said that you were willing to spend the refreshes, the cores to refresh
if
that.
There's a character
with that particular rewards we saw in the data mine, is that something you're still willing to? Okay.
No.
Me either. Which is why I hope it is like the data mine.
With that. Yeah, like I fully expect there to be a character, and you know the rumor forever and a day has been Dr. Doom, right?
That has been one of the rumors. I've also heard Apocalypse as well, so I don't know.
But if it's just the data mine rewards, that is it's of much lower priority. Much
lower. It is
lower.
for me as well, which is kind of why I'm hoping that it is. That way I don't need to be spending these cores all the time to refresh that, because I'm going to be rushing if it's a character.
I hadn't even considered that it wasn't a character, to be honest with you.
I didn't either, but two data mines in a row with nothing changed in it. I was like, I don't know, not that bad, because I don't need to be spending the cores, but yeah, I would like to see a character. So either way has some. There's no perfect scenario. Anyway,
for me, unlocking Ultron and getting Ultron and the process of unlocking Ultron was one of the most gratifying experiences that I've had in a game in a long time. You know, I probably had him for like 6 months, so he's had his run. That's fine, right?
Yeah.
And Black Bolt didn't disrupt that much. I mean, I know there's a lot of people unlocking Ultron right now. Ultron is still amazing. You're gonna love him. Black Bolt helped combat Ultron, but it did not destroy Ultron, and it's actually fairly balanced in my opinion.
Yeah. Now, once in a while he just destroys the battle, but other times he's like no factor, so it's not that bad. Other big thing they talked about was ISO-8 being overhauled. Now, this was a big concern for the people on the playtester. I know you didn't get it on there too much, but I don't know if you got to see all the feedback from
I did actually
playtesting. I don't think we could talk about it specifically, but in general terms, there was a lot of negativity for the ISO-8, and one of the big things they said that they overhauled was removing the RNG aspect. What are your expectations for ISO-8 at this point?
Well, I think in the video they talked about it being like a adding another passive to the character.
Almost like a new passive for each character.
Like a new passive. Yeah. And so it looked like that there was basically going to, well, we'll have to see what it is. I don't even know if they truly know yet. Let's just leave it at that. But what I saw happening with ISO-8 is that you on the wrong character that you have an RNG 7-star. So the one guy in this entire game that has a 7 red star Captain Marvel, pulls the correct mod sets and puts the correct mods RNG on the ISO-8, the god tier ISO-8 on the god tier character, it becomes broken. Right? And I think that was the problem that they were having was the interactions with red stars.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes. I just know the feedback of the people that were on the playtester, and just it wasn't fun in its old state. So I'm curious to see what this total overhaul means for this whole system, and maybe it'll be another playtest, or maybe they'll just release the overhaul into the game. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what
I don't know, but I'm glad that they didn't abandon it, because I do like the idea of customization and having some small theory crafting, and I'm not opposed to RNG myself, not all the time. I mean, sometimes, it does, I don't know. But what I didn't want ISO-8 to be was to be this tedious mechanic that required constant tinkering. And for me to be optimal, I would have to invest, more time into the game than I already am. And I just wouldn't have any tolerance of, spending 2-3 hours a day tinkering with my ISO-8 to get it optimized. That's unfun and on every level.
That does not sound fun at all. All right, one thing that does potentially sound fun, I've heard a lot of good things from about this, is a potential new game mode that they talked about in this. There was some good comments on there by some of the devs about what this could possibly mean. What do you think this new game mode is? Do you think this is the one-on-one type
yeah, I do.
scenario that they've been talking about, or that we've been talking about for a while?
Well, and the reason why I think it's a 1 versus 1, and I'm sure it's going to be different than what I think, and they're going to put their own spin on it, and it's not going to be, it's going to be different. But At the end of the day, the most popular and my personal favorite game mode in this game right here, Galaxy of Heroes, I'm wearing the T-shirt, is basically a 1 versus 1 alliance war or some variation of that. And I think they want that type of mode to do for a couple reasons. One being, it really pushed my personal account progression and caused me to go deeper into my roster and spend money. I hate to say it, it did. More so than other game modes for me personally. And I think they know that. Plus, it's also, as opposed to creating like Dark Dimension 3, this is something that will last and keep going. And see, the thing about the original Dark Dimension 1 and Dark Dimension 2 is once you beat it, it's done. You really don't have a reason to go back and replay that. And they have to invest a lot of time building those, and then once it's beaten, it's done. Where this type of game mode that, you know, this 1 versus 1, whether, I mean, I like it, some people won't like it, I understand that, but it's something that can be used for a very long time, if not indefinitely, for as long as the history of the game.
I hope that's what it is. I would be very, very in favor if it is that war mode. And yeah, if you guys think it's something different, let us know in the comments. I'm with you. I'm with you. I hope it is this game mode.
Yeah, I would be completely blindsided if it's not that. Now, I do expect it to be different than what I think it's going to be or how it's supposed to be, because they tend to make things their own and change things up a little bit. But I fully expect it to be something like that.
I'm with you. I'm hoping that it is there. I would be very disappointed if it wasn't. So that is about it. They covered a lot in there, a lot of stuff to react to. What is your big takeaway for what you saw in the video?
For me, a lot of it I kind of knew. The timing of the Dark Dimension being soon, like when they talk by the end of this month or early next month, right?
February, yes.
Yeah, so they like now is what they're saying is Dark Dimension. I'm glad that ISO-8 was not scrapped. I actually had heard that it was scrapped.
I heard it was scrapped, and I'm glad it wasn't scrapped, and I'm also glad it wasn't released in the iteration that was on the playtest server as well. So two good things that I heard about that there.
And then the rest of it was all things I expected, pretty much, more or less. And I'm just, for me, you know, having access to Fantastic Four is what I'm currently, you know, polishing and working on in my account. And I like to have something to do. I like to have something to work on, and that's what I'm doing.
I agree. You always need to have a goal. When it's all done, there's no point to this game. It's always about the chase, at least for me. And
so right now that chase is Fantastic Four. You know, I've largely ignored Johnny Storm Thing and Mr. Fantastic, and now I can work on them. You know, slowly. Like I'm not gonna. You know, they're all at 4 gold stars. It's gonna take a minute, so I'm good with that.
Cool. Well, OhEmGee MobileGamer, tell everybody where they can find you, my brother.
You can find me on YouTube. OhEmGee is the channel name, and we just did a video about taking 6 red stars, who to take to 6 red stars with the promotion credits.
Yes,
so that's an interesting video.
I love glitches like that. So check that out on his channel. Also, the video coming out probably tomorrow on the Fantastic Four and their T4s. Links to this channel are down below, guys, and links to this channel. If you like this channel, make sure you subscribe, because there are more videos like this, at least 4 a week on this channel. If you want to check out some of the other things I'm doing, make sure you check out my other channel, ValleyFlyin 76. Yes, there are other ways to support the channel: BlueStacks, Patreon, Valley. This is not a Valley merch shirt. I was gonna hold my shirt, but I'm not wearing one.
Oh, today. I was wearing your shirt earlier this morning, and I put on the Galaxy of Heroes one. I forgot about. I've got a Valley shirt.
He's part of the Valley Club, guys, and you can too. So check that out. I will see you guys next time. I'm also on social media. Hulk fist bump, baby. Thank you once again, Mobile.
Let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin out.